Yes, I'm there.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir, I'm there. Yes, sir. How many of the students are supposed to join, sir, today for the lecture?
Come again?
How many students are supposed to join for the business law lecture, sir? Do we have a list?
I don't have any idea of how many students are supposed to join.
Okay, so let's wait for 5 minutes, then I can start.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So a very warm welcome and greetings from India once again.
They
This
can
is
start.
yes, yes. Charles sir is there. Very that's great. Greetings, Charles sir. Okay. So without wasting any more time, let us begin with our lecture today. A warm welcome and greetings from India. This is Akash Chatterjee, guider, mentor, facilitator with ALSA, and inviting all of you to join a wonderful discussion on business law and contractual obligations. Yes, we have combined these two lectures because of, let's take a note, everyone who is supposed to follow business law lecture and contracts law lecture, please take note, both the lectures are being combined in this 1 hour session today. Okay, let's move on. First, I will be dealing with business law. In business law, we have a lot of contracts. So when I will be dealing with the contracts in business law, at that point of time only, I will, in an allied fashion, introduce contracts law to you and cover that part of the syllabus as well. Requesting the mentees not to worry at all, because today's class will be an overview of the entire syllabus. And just as I had said, after my constitutional law lecture or after my administrative law lecture, I am available in the ALSA mentorship group. So anyone who has doubts regarding the subject, who has specific problems and queries regarding the subject, are feel should feel free rather to approach me in the ALSA mentorship group. Let's get down to business now. Business law. For the very first thing, business is something which is universal. Every one of you listening to this today must have come across different business relationships in their lives. Be it the grocery store you go up to, or the pharmaceutical store you go up to, or a family business you own, or some members of your family may own. Everything is a business. It starts with a huge number of people or a less number of people. It may grow in size, it may grow in scale of its operations, but business is defined by the nature of relationships and the nature of work. Now, in your law school, you have always been taught about relations, professional relationships. What are the three kinds of professional relationships? First one is a fiduciary relationship, where you have an element of trust, you have an element of control, pervasive control, obligation, and a duration. In case of a business, you have some people who are joined by a similarity of ideas. I would like to point out, business law is different from corporate law. You had a lecture on corporate law with Charles sir. Corporate law and business law are inherently different, because when talking about corporate, we are focusing on one kind of industry, the corporate industry. Okay. But when talking about business law, we are not simply discussing on corporate per se, we are also discussing on different other forms of business. If today, suppose I start online delivery of masks and sanitizers, I will not be a corporate entity, but I will be a business entity. You must have seen during lockdown, different persons have ventured into different business activities. Flipkart, Amazon, these are some online business units. They are carrying on wonderful business activities online. Okay. So, in the same way, in quite the same way, rather, corporate and business are different identities. Now, your business law course, which has been designed by Sir Charles, is a wonderful paper. You have got a wonderful module, I must say. Everything is there. But apart from what is there in the module, you need to know certain different things, which varies from legislation to legislation. Now, what I have come across in ALSA is my maximum students are from Nigeria. But for the sake of discussion, we should not focus only on Nigerian laws or common laws or civil laws. We will be focusing on business law in general, so that after you get a degree from ALSA, you will be able to understand how to read the law. Students, no one expects you to know all the laws. No one expects you to be a legal expert. People expect you to learn how to read a law. The entire business school or the entire business law domain in ALSA tries to teach you to understand how to understand the law. What are your career prospects with business law? You can join as company standing counsel. You can help people in business. You can start your own startups, your own foundations. You can always choose academia. But most importantly, business law is needed in consumerism. There I begin my first topic for today. What is consumerism? Consumerism. Take down the definition, students. Consumerism is the gamut or domain whereby consumer relationships, product relationships, service relationships, buying and selling of products and services, involvement of customers, and delivery of service to them is involved. Consumerism involves rights of consumers, the change in rights of consumers over the periods of time, an intricate relationship with commerce, and a product of business. So, when we talk about consumerism or rather consumer goods sales, we have the uniform commercial code which is used in United States. In United Kingdom, we have specific legislations on that. Coming from India, I personally have seen legislations on that. It is your assignment, students, to find out what is the Nigerian law on consumerism, or is there a specific act on consumers? If there is, then what is it? If not, then why not? Okay, so um, now we have discussed a lot about business. So, what is business essentially? We have got to know that it is an activity. And how do you define an activity? Activity is an enterprise whereby two or more people are involved with a common goal. Please highlight common goal. Now, since you guys have an exam on this paper, while I teach, I will put special emphasis on areas that you need for your exam as well, so that a patient listening to the lecture will help you pass the exam. But if you do not pay attention to the lecture, then you have to go back and read and study a lot. So I would request you all to please stay with me while I teach, or even if you are listening to a recorded version of this lecture, well and good. Whenever you are sitting down listening to my lecture, keep a copy and a pen with you. That will be helping you. That will really help you. Okay. So first thing, consumerism, we are done. Next, what is important in business? to let others know what my intention is, to let my partners know what my intention is, to let the people know what my intention is, the people who are coming to learn it from me. So the entire thing, or the entire gamut of business, quite obviously or quite naturally depends on intentions. Can you tell me what is important, or rather what is the most important thing about intention? It is vague, it is subjective. You need to convey properly what is your intention, and in order to do that you need to have it drafted. Okay, just a second. Lord Atkin is oh, just inform Lord Atkin please that the class has started. Okay, it's done. So where were I? Huh. About this intention. So intention has to be written. It has to be reproduced in written, in writing. Okay. And when it's reproduced in writing, um, it has to be drafted. Now here we come to the most important part of the entire thing, which is what is drafting. And students, I will request ALSA to please take a separate class on drafting, because we will not teach drafting today. That is a huge part of law. And I come from a firm where we are drafting experts. We have been giving sessions on drafting. So be rest assured, you will have another class on drafting. Today, just try to understand and analyze the basics. Okay. In order to be expert in drafting, or in order to be very sound in communicating what you want, you need a drafting. What is this drafting? Drafting is expressing your opinions, expressing what you need and desire on a paper. And that particular drafting always has a format. So this particular format is often given to us. That means we have to adhere to a particular format in order to do that. Now, when do you need drafting? You need a drafting to convey your intention. You need a drafting for litigation. You need a drafting for negotiation. Everything is a part of business. Why I'm telling you? Let's take up example. Suppose you start a business. Your consumers are unhappy with you. You start a business in masks and sanitizers. One of the consumer comes up and says to you that the sanitizer is of poor quality, or whenever the mask is being put to use, the threads are too weak, too fragile. It's a complete waste of money to buy masks and sanitizers from you. So what will you do? It's a grievance. You'll redress the grievance. You may be taken to court if the customer feels that the particular customer is cheated. So this entire process now involves drafting, because you have to draft a plaint, you have to draft your intention, what is your business, your identity of business. Okay, so it's a huge thing which goes on. Coming to antitrust, this is very important for your exam. Please note, antitrust, drafting, consumerism, very important for your exam. Antitrust law helps ensure that antitrust law helps ensure that business enterprises competing business enterprises do not take such activities which harm the reputation of the business.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
I'm fine, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, dear. Please go on. Hello? You had a doubt? Okay, let's carry on. If you have a
We
doubt, then
can
you can
always
please.
update why we can start with this, and if it's coming to capture the two other subjects, then we can still, whenever he sends it, then we'll update.
Okay, I'm not getting your
Why
voice
we
properly,
can
sir.
start with these ones. Then when it's
Continue with your lecture.
Yes.
He's talking to another person. Continue with your lecture.
Okay. So when where we were about antitrust. So antitrust is that particular
I'm
part
around, it's
where
just for you to say when you want us to say.
okay. I am continuing with the lecture, sir. Now I'll let you know. Okay. So
Okay.
about antitrust law.
Okay.
Antitrust law is
Okay.
that. Meanwhile, sir, you can do just a favor. If you can just remind the students once in the group if they want to join, and just a reminder that the lecture is going on. Okay, I'm continuing in the meanwhile. Since the session is on record, let's not waste time.
Hello?
Yes, sir. If you could just
Oh,
remind the
sorry,
students
sorry,
once
sorry.
in the WhatsApp group that if they want to join. Meanwhile, I am continuing since we are on record. Let's continue. So antitrust law, this entire antitrust law gamut is one such area where we find that a business ethic, a business ethic, students can please take down that antitrust law is one such area where business ethics can be found. Okay, antitrust law is one such area where business ethic can be found. Now, what is business ethics? This is something which you don't have in the module, but I would request you to please take a note. Business ethics refer to a range of data, moralities, principles, and obligations which two people in business are supposed to carry on when they enter into a fiduciary business relationship. Fiduciary business relationship. I am repeating. Antitrust law is one such area of business ethics whereby we find a set of morals, principles, rules, regulations that define a fiduciary relationship between people. Okay? Is this clear now? So, now we are moving on to what is an enterprise. Now, this is all about antitrust law. Okay. From antitrust law, we can come to intellectual property laws. What are intellectual property laws? For example, today I buy something. Let's say I buy a table. Can you touch that? We have a new person here. Welcome. Okay. For example, we are just to recap the one who joined late. We are discussing on business law, and we are now coming to antitrust and intellectual property laws. So we are happy that you have joined. Okay. So intellectual property laws, that is intangible. Now let us discuss some more about intellectual property laws and business and all this. Um, let's imagine that I have built a table, simple wooden table which we use to dine, sit, gossip, have cafe. So that one table which I have built, can you touch that table? Yes. Can I touch that table? Yes. But if today I give an idea, for example, I have given an idea of a constitutional club in ALSA, as you all know. When I give the idea of a constitutional club, can you touch that idea? Can I touch that idea? No. But does that mean that the idea is not mine? Does that mean that I do not own that idea? Wrong. I own that idea because that is my intangible intellectual merit. That is something which has materialized out of my intellectual potency and capacity. That is what we call intellectual property rights. You have a different paper on that. I will not go into the details, but remember, IPR is very important in business because often businesses thrive on IPRs. I want you students as your assignment, tutor marked assignment, find 5 IPR ideas that have become businesses in your country, and you will send me on ALSA mentorship group. This question has to be posted in the group as well. Okay, let's move on. After antitrust, we have taxes. Market, very important for your semester examinations. Tax. What are the different kinds of tax? You have income tax, you have sales tax, you have property tax, employment tax, dividend tax. So for the purpose of corporate law, you guys have already read about shares, dividends, how a particular company invites offers on shares. Shares are listed. For example, you have a stock exchange. Mumbai Stock Exchange is the world's largest stock exchange. Shares are listed on stock exchange. People bid values on them. A bidding is done. Shares are sold. You become small owners of the company. So this is a type of income tax based on profits of a company. Dividend tax. What is dividend? Remember, dividend is the profit. A company has to declare its dividend and distribute it among its shareholders. If it does not follow this procedure, the company cannot use the money derived from dividend. This is a common law principle. If you do not give value to people who have given you value, you cannot use the value yourself. That's the quite the issue about dividend tax. Hence, dividend tax is the tax which is payable on company shareholders. Please mark it. You can get MCQs from this region. Business tax or different. What are the types? Very simple question. If you get a question on tax, remember, first you income, first you earn income tax, then you use the income, sales tax. You buy property from that income, property tax, or you are self-employed and you give a tax on that, self-employed tax. Because you have to understand, government cannot run without taxes. It needs money. Great. Let's come down to bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a financial position whereby a company or a business entity with a way. I cannot just um I cannot just announce that I have a contract with someone without letting the other party know. No, it has to be mutual. Okay. So next is, there are different concepts